Hello friends and welcome to the Gamer Down. This is your host, Dark Hostess, and today we are looking at E.Y.E, Divine Cybermancy. Actually, I guess it'd be E.Y.E, but I. This game is freaking awesome. I've only been playing it for about, an hour or so, and wow. This game is really, really cool. It is a B title with AAA qualities for sure. It's by Stroom, who I didn't know about till today. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know who the hell they were, but well, they're using the Half-Life Valve source engine, and it has really worked out well. This is a first-person shooter role-playing game. And they did an excellent job of just capturing that eerie weirdness. I guess would be the best way to describe it. And they milked the source engine for all it's worth. I mean, it looks amazing. It really does. The character design and the way the weapons feel. Wow. Only like Killing Floor has like as much satisfaction as I'm getting out of these weapons. I mean, it feels amazing, really. I mean, you can feel that oomph that like games like Fear 3 and things like that lacked for me. This game had only had the budget to fully voice act all the little missions and things like that. Man, it would have, it doesn't really take too much away from the game. I mean, they obviously didn't have the budget to fully voice act this game, but if they had done that, this game would have been like almost a AAA title for me, honestly. I'm really just enjoying every bit about this game. It has multiple paths where you can develop your character and multiple ways to approach situations, either using like psi powers, psychological powers, and if you've watched any of the trailers for this game, that's what really sold me on this game. I watched the awesome trailers. There's about 4 or 5 of them out. And one, like the guy unleashes a virus and it consumes the guys. And another one, he just balls out and with his sword and, decapitating people. And another one sniping, So there's multiple ways to play this game. I mean, the replayability is off the charts, really. You can approach situations in multiple different ways. And as you can see, there are multiple weapons in this game. I mean, it's got a full arsenal. And you can also buy newer weapons and different gadgets that do really awesome things. Like there's like this one gadget that allows you to see through walls, basically, see through like pillars and whatever, see through the environment. And using sound. So there's also like this whole cybernetics, like think of Crisis 2, obviously. It's got the almost identical cybernetic type thing to it, but then there's also this psi element as well, where you can use your psychological powers to use subtlety to kill your enemies instead of just going straight forward with your guns blazing like I like to do. That's my favorite playstyle. But it has everything to offer for multiple different playstyles. And if you're a first-person shooter fan and a role-playing game fan, I think both will equally love this game. I mean, I like both types of games, and it really hits home with me on multiple levels. And has a lot of familiarity, using the source engine. And if anybody's played a lot of the source engine games, you're going to be able to jump right into this game and know how to, your weapons are going to feel really good. Because they're going to be so familiar, This game is also an RPG and has a very, very deep character development. You can go all out with the cybernetic route, or go all out the sniper route, or the stealth assassin route, or the heavy gun route. Like I said, it supports multiple play styles. So even if you like to dabble around with different play styles, then like I do, I love to snipe sometimes, and then other times I love to just go out guns a-blazing. And the story of this game is, it's way in the future, like the year 22,500 or whatever like that. And here the story is this is like the Earth built up all this thing called the Federation, and all of these major corporations. Of course, the ultimate evil, the corporations and all that things, the people with money. These people they were doing space exploration, if I can get that out. And what they were doing is terraforming new planets. Then they had found this alien wreckage on this one planet, and they were contacted just 6 hours later by the Orus, which are this alien race, far more advanced than Earth, even as advanced as they were at the time. So these Orus, they said that was their vehicle, their whatever, that was their position, and it was called the Hammer or something like that. And so, of course, like the assholes Earth is, we went ahead and took the object as fast as we could to our lunar base, and to take it apart and get all the goodies out of it and get all the technology out of it we could. But the Oros attacked us savagely, and they ended up decimating a lot of the human race, of course. And then, in the middle of this war, a third party becomes involved, this mysterious alien race, and they attack both the Oros and the Earth. So the Oros and the Earthlings had to unite and fight against this third threat. And it says that this third enemy is driving a vehicle that is similar to the vehicle that we had brought back and stolen from the Oros in the beginning. So that is the background, and basically we're trying to infiltrate the government here and take them down, pretty much. And as you can see, I've already dispatched a few enemies, and all I gotta say is the gunplay is so visceral. It feels so good. You feel like you're really using a real gun, I guess is the best way I could describe it. And it just has this great feel to it. Maybe it's because of the Source engine and me being a big-time Half-Life 2 fan and things like that. One of my all-time favorite games. And this brings back a lot of that, memories of that, because of, just looking at the graphics, like the familiarity of the water, like the familiarity of the paint and things like that. And you can see here, this is the cybernetics menu. And you can obviously upgrade eventually as you gain EXP and gain levels and all that good stuff. And there's also, like this hacking element where you have to hack into security systems and hack doors and all that good stuff. I'm sure you're obviously able to hotkey all of your abilities and things like that. But that's also where you select your cybernetics, such as super jump and stealth and things like that. So that is like your complete menu, and it's just like Crysis 2, of course. But Crysis 2 was an amazing game, and it was a great system, and I think that they did a good job of implementing into this game. Another really awesome thing is that the enemies have very, very great AI. I mean, they put a lot of development into the AI, and it's not scripted. So the replayability is very, very high. You're going to have a slightly different game each time you play through. And there's also, like I said, multiple ways to approach different situations. And I kind of jumped the gun here, like in this situation here, and I accidentally killed a couple of people like I could have talked to. Yeah, that's like you see, you've killed a captain and all that good stuff. But there's a couple of guys, like, I kind of jumped the gun, and I could have talked to him and further advanced my character probably in another way. As you'll see later on in the missions, like where I actually talk to the guy and don't kill him, there are, like, different choices to be made. You can either let, like, somebody live and they can bribe you and you can take their money, which I did, and you can let them go, or you can take their money and then kill them. And the enemies also, they drop all kinds of different goodies as well. And on top of all of the other good things, This game offers multiplayer and co-op play. Yeah, up to 8. So, wow. You and 8 of your buddies, or 7 of your buddies, can all get together and play this game together. Pretty impressive. And everything about this game seems very well thought out. And it's obviously made by people who love games. And they hit all the notes that a true gamer would hit. And all of the things that a lot of games miss these days, like the guns feeling good. They put that time into the guns feeling good, but then they also put a hell of a lot of effort into this whole role-playing game aspect of it as well, and the ability to approach this game in multiple different situations and different ways. Here we're coming up on like our first hack kind of thing, a little security thing, security door, and we must hack it. Hack it. This is part of the tutorial, obviously, And I'm very early into the game, and like I said, I've only played it for like about an hour, and I'm just relaying all of the things that I've learned in my hour of play, which is not a lot. I mean, there's a lot to, for this game, in this game. Just took a good look at this lengthy tutorial, and there's a tutorial for just about everything. So if you get really lost, you got your tutorial right there. So you're all set. And here we're looking at our first hack attempt, and like you can see, you're given different options, and I'm unleashing my virus into this computer. And this also, like, the enemy can like release their virus into you as well, and you can have like different stat changes and things like that. Like I said, I'm just starting this game, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but everything I've learned about it so far has been totally awesome. Really, I feel like I'm just barely scratching the surface of this really deep game. I don't know what else I can really say besides go get it. On top of everything else, this game is only $19.99 on Steam. And you see here, I jumped the gun and I killed somebody I could have talked to. And yeah, I should have talked to that guy. Don't tell him what he had to say. I missed out. I have to play again to see what I missed out on. But you can't really beat $19.99. And like I said, it's on Steam. That's one of the best places to get it. You can probably go find it maybe at your mortar and brick store, but I'm not so sure. But you can for sure find it on Steam. It's a really short download. Ain't that big. And you can even get a really, really deep discount if you buy like 4 at one time. I think you save like $20 or something like that. And this is the temple headquarters. This is where like you can talk to the different mentors and like kind of like betray your own mentor and things like that. That seemed to be like the plot line. And if you haven't noticed already, this new civilization has their own language, unless I accidentally bought the Russian version or something like that. I don't think so. And I'm not going to read all these quests and missions to you. If you want to pause the video and read them, then more than welcome to do so. But it would just take way too long. This mini kind of review first look thing got a little bit longer than I really intended. But I had to do, look around a little bit, look around through the different quests. This temple headquarters is also where you can upgrade your weapons, buy some new weapons, and upgrade your cybernetics. Because if you haven't noticed, you are like 1,000 pounds or something. Every jump, you're just like, bam, to the ground. And you're full of cybernetics. That's what your problem is. I really, really, really love the character design. These are the parts, though, that I wish had been voice acted. If they had voice acted this game would have been just off the charts for me. I mean, I know that they weren't able to do it because voice acting a game costs a lot of money, and they probably saved a ton of money. I mean, I'm sure they were on a shoestring budget through this entire game. Most developers using the Source Engine, no offense to the source engine, it's just one of the cheapest engines you can get, really. And this game has just blown me away in multiple ways. And I'm kind of going through these quests and things really quickly, and that is just because I don't want to bore you. I'm going to go back and I'm going to thoroughly read all these quests, but just look at the amazing character designs here, like from the Shaolin type guy over there, the Vietnam hat and all that, but futuristic cyberpunk. I really dig it. And always you have to keep in mind that this is a role-playing game, so you're gonna have to read and read and read. So if you aren't a big reader and don't like those types of games, where you have to actually read quite a bit, then you might not like it. I mean, you'll enjoy the first-person shooter aspect of this game because the gun handling and all that good stuff is amazing. And the story kind of rubs off on you, just the, little bits you read, if you're not really hanging on every word. But the story is really good, and just the cursory glancing that I did at these quests, and like the only reason that I was going through these so quickly is because this video would be like 2 or 3 hours long if I didn't do this, because there's a lot of reading. I'm nothing against reading. I read all the time. Constantly I read. And there's, just so much reading, and like I said, if this part had been voice acted, if they had voice acted this, God, it would have been a lot of voice acting on top of it, costing a ton as well. And they just, of course, didn't have the money. But just expect to read quite a bit if you want to get into the role-playing aspect of this game, which I highly recommend as well. Like I said, the story is really, really good. I mean, of course it is sci-fi fanfare, and it's a lot of fodder and candy, that sci-fi people like, which is me. I'm a sci-fi person. I love sci-fi. So, of course, I'm going to eat all of this junk that they're feeding me. All of the robotics and the cybernetics and the psi, and I mean it really hits on like all of the different elements, from like psychic powers to robotic powers and things like that, all of the elements of mainstream sci-fi, and the character design, like I said, the cyberpunk medieval type, it's like it's a really great mixture. The character design and artists that design these characters, I don't know what to say to you, man. All I can say is good job, I guess. And if you have actually been taking the time to read through the dialogue, you'll see like those guys were the different mentors and things like that. And this guy right here, he's like the commander, and this guy, he's like an asshole. He is a real big dick. That's all I can say. He wants you to, like, betray your mentor and, I don't know, kill your mentor. And you seem to have an option here, like where you can either betray your mentor or you can obey the commander. And I went ahead and obeyed the dude, it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. I just wanted to see what happened. And like I said, the replayability, is really, really high in this game. You can play it multiple times and have multiple experiences and enjoy it thoroughly in different ways, and that's what a lot of games don't do anymore, which really sucks. I remember games, God, I would play games that had this kind of replayability, like KOTOR or even like Mass Effect 2, things like that, or Mass Effect, and or Morrowind and Oblivion and things like that, Witcher 2. All those types of games that have multiple paths and a really high replayability. Those games, they don't make those as much anymore. More these days, it's like going to a movie. You'll play through the game one time. It's like you run through this whole script, this whole scripted event, such as like Duke Nukem 3D, whatever. So many of the new games that are coming out these days, Call of Duty, whatever, everything is just highly linear, highly scripted. Not that scripted games don't have their place, Some of my all-time favorite games, like Crysis 2, Half-Life 2, they're really scripted, they're scripted out the wazoo. And they're badass games. You know, a couple of my all-time favorites. But I hate to see games like this with really, really high replayability go the way of the dinosaur, you know? I mean, so everybody just wants to make that fast buck. Developers these days, they want to churn out, you know, what the people want. You know, well, you know, of course you want to sell what people want, but they want to just give people candy and just stuff that's just not, you don't even have to think about it or anything like that. And it's a nice change of pace to see a game that has so much thought put into it and very deep character development. And, you know, here you can see, like, I could buy some really cool weapons, and fortunately I don't have jack for cash, so what's new, you know? Some of the things like that badass battle axe to some really cool sentries to all kinds of things. It looks like a flamethrower. I don't know. Like I said, you know, I'm just playing this game for the first time myself, and it's deep. This game is really, really deep. You know, there's a multitude of weapons and gadgets and paths you can take. I mean, you can be a sword-swinging melee fighter if you want to be. You know, as you see, you obviously have a sword and a battle axe and different melee weapons available. Or you can be a sniper, you know, and hiding behind the bushes and sneak around and snipe your enemy away. Or you can be one of these, like, Psy guys and unleash crazy viruses and watch your enemies slowly deteriorate and die like that. So, it's pretty freaking awesome. Here in the temple headquarters, that's where you can get, you know, this is kind of like the main hub. You know, there's like the training room over there, which I didn't visit, and I figured, hey, I've trained all I can train. You know, I'm not much of a trainer. And here's the medical room, and this guy, he offers like different little gadgets and things like that. Some of these gadgets, like, are the ones like I mentioned at the very beginning, where you can see enemies' sound, like see through walls, you know, see their sound. And there was like some here that like convert your power into health, and there's one here that let's see, it reduces your damage. You know, a lot of the basics. Want to increase your stealth and all that good stuff. You know, really cool little gadgets to help you improve your play style, because a lot of these gadgets, they complement your play style. You know, if you want to be a stealth player, then you will go and buy the stealth gadgets. You know, of course, or maybe the goggles that see through walls and things like that, because they'd be perfect companion for your sniping. And that's pretty cool, you know. Pretty cool. I love all, you know, like how deep this game gets. It's almost like an MMO-ish, you know, type game, you know. That's what a lot of this reminds me of here, like in this main central hub. It reminds me of being in an MMO and going around to the different vendors and things like that, or, you know, whatever. You know, like going to the main city in your MMO and doing your business. Doing your business. And as you see, everything has a tutorial, like I showed you earlier. You know, there's a ton of tutorials. So let's go ahead and get back to that commander guy and get our quest started, get our mission started. And just look at these amazing graphics, you know, and just really cool design, really good use of the source engine. You know, I mean, they milked this engine, I think, for about all it can be milked for. Now I'm gonna speed this up just a fraction. You know, I'm just walking back. Ain't nothing big, nothing to see. You know, here, nothing to say here. And now we're back to the commander guy. That was quick, huh? There is also a sprint, so you can run a little bit. The controls are really good. You know, there's all of the basics of the, your first-person shooters since Quake 1. You know, there's duck, there's jump. You know, all of the movements, but there's also you can also lean in this game too. You know, you can lean to the left, lean to the right. You have quite a bit of control over your character. And here we go. This is our mission here, and as you can see, it uses the source engine to its capacity. You know, its ability to use these giant vehicles, as you surely remember from like Half-Life 2. You know, the giant flying alien spacecraft there, and how they've incorporated it into this game with their own, you know, spacecraft here, of course. I always, you know, when I do play a game with the source engine, I always have that Half-Life 2 feel, which is a good feeling anyway, because I love that game. Love that game to death. So when I do play a Source game, I automatically have this kind of familiarity and this like of it, just because it's the same engine and it has just that feel to it. So here we are on this mission to betray our mentor, obviously, and go kill him. Sorry, buddy. We had some good times. So I'm gonna not talk a whole lot during this period. I'm just gonna let you watch the game and watch me play the game, watch me die, because this game, has a good challenge level. If you do not go find some cover, you probably will get your ass kicked. If you don't get like all the extra cybernetics, like the take less damage and go towards being a melee fighter. To be honest, I can't even remember exactly what path I took, to be honest. Because there's, like I said, this game is very, very deep. Very, very deep. And it's funny, every time I say that I'm not going to speak, I can't stop talking. Damn it. Okay, I'll be quiet. But here I'm just loading up my arsenal, getting ready for this little mission here. So it's pretty cool. Now, one thing I gotta say, isn't that just the cutest freaking damn thing there? That is damn cute. I couldn't kill it, of course not. But I just had to break in and say that. I want one of those things. And as we get to the end of this video, I better wrap it up. This has been Dark Hostess for the Gamer Down. Hope you've enjoyed this, my first look at E.Y.E. It's a really cool game, and it's really reasonable. $19.99 off Steam. So, I highly recommend this game. I really think that any first-person shooter fan is going to enjoy it, and I think a lot of role-playing game fans would like it. You know, think Fallout. You know, I think a lot of you players out there really enjoy this game.